back, very slide back. Hey! Back in 10 seconds. Go!
When you see the name Rolex at a sailing event, you know it must be one of the best regattas in the world. Here at the St. Francis Yacht Club in San Francisco, the Rolex Big Boat Series is known as the premier regatta on the West Coast. Hi, I'm Tucker Thompson, and welcome to the 50th anniversary of the Rolex Big Boat Series. This week, we join over 100 boats that will celebrate half a century of top-level yacht racing on San Francisco Bay. One of the themes of the Big Boat Series has always been change, mixing it up this year, adding more courses and a new starting area here off of Fort Mason, giving the spectators a great view ashore. There's the start. The first class is the HPR Division sailing their national championships. It's a right-hand shift and a left-hand favored track for the current. All boats are on starboard and likely to stay that way. Donald Payon's Whiplash. He's won this regatta twice before. That's the good news. Bad news is a rough start has him already playing catch-up. And then there's Wicked Sister, two tacking it to the right. Everybody seems to stack up high on this right-hand side of the start line. Melga's 24s are next. And that means we're likely to see a few boats shut out, two already. There's the gun. And someone else was over early. Tough start in the Melga's 24 fleet. Two boats nailed the start. Bones was late, but by being all the way to the right, they're going to look pretty good out of this. The smallest boats in the Big Boat Series are also one of the most popular new fleets afloat. The J70s are next. Gutsy move for 582, a dip start from above the committee boat might pay off in this current. Two, one, there's the gun. Nobody over early to my eye, but at least 3 or 4 boats pinned out on a heavily starboard favored line. The boats bang the beach, fighting the foul flood. We've moved to the top of the track with the Melga's 24s. It's a starboard rounding and downwind. Everyone's going to want to get out into the flood tide. It's a close fight for the front in the J70s here at the leeward mark. It's number 72 DFZ out in front. But just barely. Look at 370, a better rounding. It's a 2-lap windward leeward for everybody. The Melga's 24s will be the first fleet to finish. And Don Jesper's Viva wraps up the first point of the series. A large starboard parade from offshore. The J70s are next to cross the finish line. Beautifully sailed race for Jennifer. Back upwind, the HPR fleet are sailing the longest course traversing San Francisco Bay, and well out in front so far is Daniel Thieman's Tai Kwai. Out in front, Tai Kwai puts on quite a show for the folks having lunch at the St. Francis Yacht Club. Tai Kwai, it seems, is sailing in a completely different hemisphere. The rest of their fleet out of sight as they round the mark for the last time and head for home. The finish line off of St. Francis. Tai Kwai will take the race. Check, please. Lunch is over. And so is race 1. Same race committee, different fleet. The J111s are on the line for the start of race 2. More breeze is matched by more flood as the fleet works its way inshore. A remnant of what it was like here on San Francisco Bay last summer. The multi-hulls are next on the line. Bows are down, speed is up. That was the gun. Flying 2 of her 3 hulls, Tom Siebels, Trimaran Orion finished 3rd in this regatta last year. Puts her bows in the breeze and takes off. Look at them go. With the rest of the fleet left to work it out behind them. One of the most competitive fleets in the Big Boat Series of the Express 37, starboard end of the line, and it's no exception. One boat gets peeled out, 3 seconds to go to the line, and they're off. One boat fights the current on port, offshore. The rest of the fleet heads for the rocks. Well, the windward boat had good position on locomotion to leeward, but the jib halyard just blew in the jammer, dropped about 6 inches. That'll slow him down. Close action in the Express 37s. This course takes the fleet west underneath the Golden Gate Bridge and back. The J111s are working their way downwind. See that flag on the race committee boat? New this year, a rule that says you cannot get in the way of commercial traffic like this Malgus 24 in harm's way. It's all part of what adds to the challenge of San Francisco Bay. And finally, the ORR fleet, new to this regatta, is on their way upwind after shifting the starting line over. Here's a boat that has done this regatta. Steve Taft at the helm 40 times in the Big Boat Series. Top that. Cy Kleinman himself has done 30 of these Big Boat Series, and his boat Swifter 2 won this division last year. They're well out in front right now as they make their way under the Golden Gate Bridge. Another division winner from last year, Conley Richards, is Golden Moon out in front as well in the Express 37s. Here comes some more heavy metal for the boats to deal with as well. Outside the bridge off the Marin headlands, the fog lifts for Bustin' Loose and Deception. With Swisher already well out in front of the ORR division, Bodacious is next at the set. Alongside a shadow, we're doing about 25 plus knots. This has to be one of the wettest ways to spend a day on the bay, and also one of the most fun. The Bay has claimed a victim today. Here's a Melgus 24 that is out of the day's racing and possibly the rest of the weekend. It's been a long course. The J111s are finally working their way back to the top of the track west of the bridge for the final tarp mark rounding. At the top mark, it's Ronald Vandermeer's big blast well out in front as they set the kite and head for home. Having covered the most amount of distance in the fastest time, Orion finishes first off the clubhouse for the Multihulls. Well, the day started with a slow build. Light air and a flood tide turned into big breeze and big waves and an ebb tide as the fleet continues to race up towards the Golden Gate Bridge before finishing right here off the St. Francis Yacht Club. I'm Tucker Thompson. There's a lot more racing to come as the Rolex Big Boat Series continues here in San Francisco.